the most important part of this film. And the reason why maybe the original didn't work, the reason why it needed to have the right technology to make this film come to life, and why these books were considered kind of unfilmable. I understand why. Because their ability to showcase scale was almost perfected in this film. I was like blown away. And that's not to say like the visuals were good. Visuals were great. Visuals were amazing. That's not it. I've seen amazing visuals before. But the way that they coincided visuals, the visual identity, and the hierarchical structure of those visuals with the composition of Hans Zimmer, who Hans Zimmer is almost like man's gift to cinema at this point. He's just so talented. And you guys know him, Gladiator, Inception, you know, Last Samurai, all that. Like any really big film, you probably, it's him. The composition was so good because even during the slow parts, the composition could have been so booming with energy and tension that it elevated softer scenes, smaller scenes into something more. And that was great because it needed it. It was very close to like a Blade Runner. So the visuals are just beautiful. Obviously, the worm scene. I'm actually very upset that they had to use it in the marketing materials to sell this film, because I would have loved to have never seen that, just to have seen it for the first time, because I think I would have crapped my pants. It was like awe-inspiring. I went with a friend who had never seen a trailer for it, and he was like, I wish I could have had that reaction because he was floored. The scale, the ships coming down. You've seen a ship come down to like a planet, but you'd never actually seen something that big land. They made everything so just monstrous to just give you a sense of scale and sense of like how everything is in this world, and it was just wonderful. From the crawler, to the ships that land, to the worms, even the rumbling of the worm in the sand, and the music that went with it was so beautiful. The visuals wouldn't have been a tenth as effective if the composition wasn't what it was. I would suggest you rewatch it if you didn't notice this, but the different like areas and the different people, you know, the Barons area and like the houses area, you know, Oscar Isaac's area, and like the sand area, they had similar thematic melodies throughout. The only reason I noticed that is because the Barons area sounded very similar to a video game I've played called Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. If you know that game, see if you can hear some similarities. But it was just, you could hear it. Like the Barons thing was so, I don't remember all of them, but it was almost so, like that, like throat kind of like noise, which was so like intimidating and terrifying, which worked so well for that theme. And the sand area always had so many like, it almost had like a sifting flow through the wind melody, which worked really well because Paul's visions were of that area and almost gave it a mystical component to it. Hans Zimmer like outdid himself. It wasn't just like, oh, big notes and big boom. No, it was like, it was so decisive the way he chose his score.